this is my speech over the Manhattan Project. On August 6, 1945, the temperature in Hiroshima, Japan spiked over 13,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This was due to the first application of the nuclear bomb, which was developed in the Manhattan Project. Today, I will tell you the history of the Manhattan Project and discuss the research, development, and application of nuclear weaponry. The Manhattan Project began as a race to out-research Germany. In 1939, Einstein, who was still in Germany but not on their side, sent a letter to a U.S. ambassador warning about Germany researching nuclear weaponry, and this letter made its way to President Roosevelt. In 1942, the project was started by the U.S. Army, and they designated J. Robert Oppenheimer to research and be the head of the project. And I pulled this from EBSCOhost, which is a scholarly database, and their 2023 article titled Manhattan Project. And according to the U.S. Department of Energy, in their article, Manhattan Project Background Information and Preservation Work, the project employed 130,000 people while operating in secrecy. Now that I've discussed the beginnings and the research of the project, I can go over the bombs. Scientists have developed two styles of bombs, and they worked in three main facilities. One of the facilities was designated for plutonium research, the other one was for uranium research, the third one was for weapons design and testing. According to the 2022 EBSCOhost article titled Atom Bomb, they had two distinct bomb styles: Fat Man, which was plutonium-based, and Little Boy, which was uranium-based. They tested Fat Man, which was the plutonium one, and they never tested the uranium one. And they tested it at the site known as the Trinity site, which was 200 miles south of where they had built the bombs. Now that I've discussed the testing and development of the bombs, I can explain the application. The U.S. dropped two atomic bombs on Japan, signaling the end of the Second World War. On August 6th, they dropped Little Boy on Hiroshima, and they dropped Fat Man on August 9th on Nagasaki. According to the 1992 article from Jay Bernstein, who has a Harvard PhD in history, American leaders were questioning whether or not they should deploy the bombs because a Japanese surrender was inevitable due to Germany falling and the Soviet Union leaving the Axis powers and pushing an attack onto Japan. Ultimately, they chose to deploy the bombs, and on August 15th, Japan had surrendered. Today, I covered the Manhattan Project and the research, development, and applications of atom bombs. And the project changed our world forever as the detonation of the bombs had lasting effects on war and international diplomacy.
Why do they call it the Manhattan Project?
They started in Manhattan, which is where they had their first meeting, and that is where they were just really lazy, and they decided we're not coming up with a name for it.
Right.
And they had three main facilities, but I think they had over 25 places where people operated, and not a single person, or there was one person at each facility that knew where everything else was going, and that was it. And that was, I don't know what the map would be on that, but 130,000 people, only 25 of them knowing actually what's going on.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.